The Ghost in the Bell, from a Chinese ghost story, retold by Carlos Romero, illustrated by Molly Jackson. Long ago in China, a young prince ordered a blacksmith named Yu to build him the greatest bell in the world. It must have the strength of brass, the gentle kiss of silver, and the beauty of gold, the prince demanded. Yu went to work right away. He gathered all the brass, silver, and gold in his workshop. Yu melted them together in a large cauldron over a hot fire. Yu then poured the metals into a bell cast. He waited for the liquid metal to cool and harden. Yu had a daughter named Koei. Koei loved her father. Every day she wore her favorite pearl slippers. They were a gift from her father. She watched her father cast the bell. "Father, may I help you?" she asked. "No, my daughter," Yu replied. "This bell is my duty, and my duty alone." The next day the bell casting was opened. Koei came to the workshop to watch. The prince arrived and struck the new bell. The bell cracked and turned to dust. The prince grew angry. "Try again," he shouted, "and this time use finer materials." Koei was sad for her father. Yu bought the best bronze from the mines, all of the silverware in the city, and a block of solid gold from the prince's own home. He mixed them in the red-hot cauldron. He then had the bubbling metals blessed by the high priests of the temple. When the bell was done, the prince came back to Yu's workshop. The prince struck the bell. It shattered into small pieces. Yu had failed again. "You have one final chance to make my great bell, or I will have your head," shouted the prince. Yu sat in his chair. He knew he was doomed. Koei watched her father. She knew she must do something to help him. That night she went to the temple to say a prayer for her father. As she left the temple, Koei saw an old woman struggling up steep stairs. Koei helped the woman. On the final step, the woman gave Koei 3 coins. One was bronze, another silver, and the last, gold. Koei was amazed. She knew her prayers had been answered. These coins would make the bell perfect. Koei ran home as fast as she could. Back at the workshop, Yu mixed the 3 metals one final time. When he was done, he fell asleep in his chair. Koei snuck in quietly. She kissed her sleeping father. She then climbed onto the balcony above the large cauldron. It was high, and Koei was frightened, but she found the strength to continue. She would do anything to help her father. Koei threw the 3 coins into the boiling cauldron below. The liquid metal bubbled up and swallowed the coins. Koei began to climb down, but she tripped on one of her pearl slippers. She cried out as she fell into the cauldron. Hearing the cry, Yu awoke. He dashed out of his chair. Yu was too late. Yu let out a great wail and fell to his knees. He held her tiny pearl-laced slipper, the one she had tripped on, and cried. Inside the cauldron, the metal began to glow pearly white. The next day, the bell was cast from this metal. This final casting produced the great bell at the temple. When tested by the prince, it rang solid and true. It is said that beautiful ring of the great bell is the voice of sweet Koei singing the praises of her father's work.